Hi there, I am the Reverend Danny Crosby, a Unitarian minister serving congregations in Altrincham and in Urmston in the northwest of England. And I offer this devotion as a balm for the heart, for the mind, for the spirit, and for the soul. And it's titled Glad Tidings of Comfort and Joy. Glad Tidings of Comfort and Joy. Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy tide of Christmas all other doth efface. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. This is the final verse of that classic Christmas carol, God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen. It's the heart, the spirit of Christmas, don't you think, to offer glad tidings of comfort and of joy. Something we all need in life, and not just at Christmas, actually, all the seasons of our life. So, yes, let us celebrate the joy of this season, and let us also bring comfort to those in need, and also to seek the comfort when we need it ourselves, to be open to it. Of course, comfort does not necessarily mean what we think it means. It's not a warm blanket or a snuggled up little teddy bear. Comfort comes from the Latin word comfortare, which means strengthen greatly. To give comfort is to shore up the mood or the physical state of someone else. It is to stand by them and to support them. It is not to take away their human agency, to smother them. It's not a there, all will be okay. It's actually to be with them, to strengthen them in their struggle, to support them, to accompany them through whatever they are struggling with or suffering with. That is to offer comfort. It's a sustained thing, something solid and reliable. Not really what we often think when we think of a comfortable pillow or something like that, is it? What was it, the corner shop song, everybody needs a bosom for a pillow. Well, comfort's something more sturdy and strengthening and holding while you yourself face what you must face. On Tuesday morning, it was a second anniversary of something lovely that happened in my life. Somebody who offered me comfort. A gift was left on my doorstep. It was actually two tubes of Milky Bar chocolate buttons. I'm a Milky Bar kid. I love white chocolate. I know, surprising, I know, but it's true. Someone had left them as a gift to offer me comfort, I think, because I was going through something that was troubling and difficult. And I'd just been reading that wonderful piece, It Comes in the Little Things, Thus saith the Lord, at the same time. And from the very next day, I began a new spiritual practice, something I have continued every single day for the last 2 years. I basically, whenever I awoke in the morning, I would look back at the day before and think of all the little things that occurred, for good and not so good, actually. The blessings and the curses of choosing life. I took note, though, of the little things, not the great monumental things, but the little things. And then I shared them on social media, just shared them out there. I brought glad tidings of comfort and joy, and others read them and maybe shared in them and sometimes responded. Others may have read them and not responded. Well, the other morning was the second anniversary of the little things. And as I awoke, I reflected back on the day before. I had attended court, well, the coroner's court actually, for the inquest of a friend of mine. I went alone. There was no one else, except for the people, the officers and the witnesses, and a court volunteer, someone who is there to offer support to the friends and the family of the deceased. A comforter, really, although that would not be what they would be called. I talked with a woman who shared why she had become such a volunteer following a tragedy and attending an inquest for someone in her life. She was a wonderful and a beautiful example of the good that can flow from tragedy if we transform the tragedy into loving service for others. Surely that is the point of the religious life, really. She truly was a comforter, although that was not her official title. She strengthened me greatly, as did the God of my own understanding that I sought through prayer, and three friends who I was in contact with by text message throughout the day. By the way, I kind of think WhatsApp and text are another form of prayer. When people are struggling, we are able to contact one another. It's like a modern way of praying, really, offering glad tidings of comfort and, when good things happen, of joy. I had to experience what I did that day, but I was comforted through it. I felt held, I felt strengthened as I walked through what I felt I must walk through. And then a little later in the day, I spent some time in lovely, joyful company of another friend, and that also brought glad tidings to me and to them. It was lovely. Oh, glad tidings of comfort and joy, glad tidings of comfort and joy. This truly is the spirit of Christmas, past, present, future, alive and well in our real world. How do we bring glad tidings and comfort and joy to the world, especially if we ourselves are feeling a little bit weary with the world? How do I, as a Unitarian of a free religious tradition, offer glad tidings of comfort and joy to the world? Well, I see it there in our past and in our present, and I believe it is there in our future. For ours is a hope-filled faith, one that believes in possibility and the potential of all life, all people on earth who do dwell. This approach to religion is real and is grounded in this life, in real life. We sanctify in and through this life. That the likes of Priestley and our other forebears, when they rejected original sin and thus the need to be saved from our own humanness, in so doing, we embraced the human example of Jesus and Jesus' life. And we recognize the sacredness of this life that we live and the life that we see it, that we live in and we see and live and breathe, and that we're here to sanctify in and through life. That Jesus was seen as the example to humanity of what humanity could be. That redemption is not so much about saving us from life, but saving us to life, so that we can be of purpose in this life, like the lady in the court, the comforter as I call us. Redemption is available, but not by pure unearned grace, rather through a combination of faith and works, thus maintaining our human agency, that it's for us to turn again and to rejoice and be glad. Brings to mind a classic Christmas tale, very much influenced by Unitarian thought at the time, Charles Dickens's A Christmas Carol. In the story, Scrooge beautifully portrays the power at the heart of Christmas, how love can redeem even the most lost. It emerges through the journey of integration that Scrooge is taken up on, the journey of the past, the present, and the future, of both the light and the darkness of life, all life, of hope coming from despair. During the telling of A Christmas Carol, he is visited by three spirits, the ghost of the past, the present, and what is yet to be. The ghost of Christmas past forced Scrooge to not only look back at his past, but to re-feel it, to relive it fully. He was made to remember what Christmas had once meant before cynicism and bah humbug took hold. It showed him both the happiness and the sadness present in his past. There was no sugarcoating for Scrooge. It's, of course, a true humbug to pretend that all the sadness in life is washed away at Christmas time. And yet, while there is sadness present in life, there is also love and joy. There is much to be grateful for. It is the ghost of Christmas past that accompanied Scrooge, that revealed this to Scrooge, that comforted Scrooge, strangely, as he did so, supported him through the journey, but showed him so that he could see it and refeel it himself. The ghost of Christmas present showed Scrooge the full picture of the world in which he lived, especially at Christmas time. He saw the warts, he saw the beauty spots too. It revealed the affluence as well as the want. It showed Christmas being enjoyed in far off places, on the high seas, in lighthouses. It showed every heart being warmed by the season. Surely this touched Scrooge, as his heart was warmed by the universal love present in all life, regardless of material circumstances, expressed in the spirit of Christmas. It showed him all that was wrong, the want and the need, of course it did. But it also showed the love present too, even in their lives. And yet Scrooge had everything and hated life, especially his own, but everybody else's too. The ghost of Christmas yet to be brought the reality of Scrooge's own lonely and unmourned death to him. People either did not care or actually cheered Scrooge's passing. All that he owned was quickly stripped from him. It meant nothing in the end. They even took the curtains from his bed. When the spirit showed him his grave, he did not recognize it as his own grave. He tried to deny it, but the spirit's finger pointed from the grave back at him. This terrified Scrooge, who cried out that he was a changed man as he begged for mercy, clutching the spirit's robe. And then he utters the immortal words, "I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all of the year. I will live in the past, in the present, and in the future. The spirit of all three will strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons they teach." So Scrooge becomes the Christmas hero because he brought the reality of what Christmas is all about to life. Through him, the spirit of Christmas comes to life. Isn't it the same for everyone, regardless of time and of place? For surely Christmas is about honouring life in life's wholeness. Surely it's about reconciliation in its completeness. It's about giving birth to the love within each of us by reconciling our past and our present, and therefore creating a future inspired by love. Scrooge is transformed not by unearned grace, but by integrating his whole life. He is shown his story of what it was, what it is, and what it will become. And he awakens from his nightmare transformed. He undergoes a conversion experience, but he does not lose his agency. And all three ghosts accompany him. The ghosts are his comforters. They accompany him through the journey, and he becomes the man that he can be, dedicating his life to something new. The power of example is lifted by that power of example of that love, of what he can be. Isn't that what it's about? Isn't that the spirit, the purpose of the spirit born in our own hearts, of what we are capable of being? No one's beyond that. I see parallels in A Christmas Carol with another Christmas classic, It's a Wonderful Life. The main character here is George Bailey, and George Bailey could not be anything more different. He couldn't be more different to Scrooge. He just was not Scrooge-like. He had lived a life of service in so many ways, and yet it all goes wrong despite all the good that he does, through no fault of his own, actually, by the mistakes of others and the and the calculations of others. He loses his mind and in desperation decides that the best thing for everybody else is for him to take his own life. His life meant nothing. In the film An Angel, Clarence Oddbody, what a great name, Clarence is sent to save him so that he himself can gain his wings. George believes all would be better if he had never been born. And what happens? Well, Clarence takes him on a journey. He shows George how his life would have been, or how everybody else's life would have been, if George had never been born. And having shown him this vision of his life, George begs for his life back so that he can do good, so that all the suffering to others does not occur. He's saved by love. And so he returns home to face his fate. On his return, he finds that all the townspeople have come. They've chipped him, they've helped him, they've saved him by following his example. Everybody in this story, yes, Clarence is the comforter, but George is the comforter. The townspeople are the comforter. They accompany him. They offer sturdy support in so many different ways. They offer glad tidings of comfort and joy, as George had been doing for years. They exemplify the message at the heart of Christmas, that we can bring that message to life through our humanity by following the great example. Now, these two stories kind of remind me of another classic piece of Victorian literature, not a Christmas story, but one that has the same spirit at its heart and soul. This is the great story of Silas Marner by George Eliot, real name, of course, Mary Ann Evans. Now, like Dickens, Eliot was heavily influenced by Unitarian theology and thought of the time. And in the novel, themes are explored such as faith, redemption, and the healing power of love. Silas Marner loses his faith both in God and humanity, in fact, the whole of society. And this occurs through a series of unfortunate events when terrible things happen and he's blamed for things outside of his control. And Marner loses faith in everything, becomes like Scrooge, another bah humbug. And yet Marner is transformed through his relationship with the orphan girl Eppie, who is left with him and who he chooses to adopt. Like Scrooge's heart, Marner's heart is transformed and thawed through love, through their relationship. The novel beautifully portrays the power of love and of human connection. It's a redemption tale again. Isn't this another example of what is at the heart of the Christmas story? Now, interestingly, in this story, it is the little orphan girl, Eppie, who is the comforter. Well, their relationship, they both are comforters in some ways, but she seems to be the one that shows him a better way. She brings to life glad tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy, glad tidings of comfort and joy. Can you see yourself in all these people? How we're all these people? And the possibility for all if we follow the great example. Christmas is about possibility. It's about what hope of what is possible, of what might be. It's about love being born, being incarnated in our hearts and minds. It's about the possibility of what might yet be. It's about bringing glad tidings of comfort and joy. The Christ child is the example to all of us of what we can be if we live from that spirit of love. But we have to believe that's possible, that we have that same spirit in us. We all have that same hope, the same possibility in us. We are all of us Ebenezer Scrooge. We are all of us Silas Marner. We are all of us George Bailey. Just as we are the ghosts of the past, the present, and what is yet to be, just as we are Clarence, Oddbody, and Little Eppie, and all the other characters in this tale, and all the other countless tales of human life. These are real tales, tales of life, that love can come again, that love can be born again in the mangers of our hearts. But we must incarnate it through our own lives. We must be the comforter to others. And we must seek and accept comfort when it's offered, when we need it, as I did just the other day. We are here to accompany one another in joy and in suffering as we integrate the whole of our lives, past, present, and future. And then it might just be Christmas every day. Or as good old Mr. Scrooge said towards the end of Christmas, of A Christmas Carol, I will honour Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, in the present, and in the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me, in my heart, in my heart. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. So let us honour that spirit too. Let us offer glad tidings of comfort and joy, oh glad tidings of comfort and joy. God rest ye, merry folk, God rest ye. So here's some final words of blessing. You know, we need to bless more, and we bless when we give ourselves fully to one another and to life. So let's accompany one another. Let us be each other's comforters. Let's walk side by side in the spirit of love. Let us show each other what we are capable of being when we live in and through love. And may that spirit dwell deep within us, and may it come to life through our human being. May we embody the love and move towards love and peace and justice. May we carry that spirit with us, and may we do so in all that we feel, in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Go in love, go in peace. Amen.